Team Philippines. It's the second.
An early break and run out is always gratefully accepted. The Philippines looking good, 2-0 ahead on their road to 9. In 2021 in Vietnam, he won the singles gold in the pool at the Southeast Asian Games. Also won bronze medals in that event in Cambodia, in the Philippines and in Malaysia in the past. A double All-Japan Championship winner as well, Johann Chua, in 2015 and 2017. He doesn't look it, but he's 31 years of age.
The third rack.
Yeah, still
Team
very
Philippines
young
to break,
and in his
leading
prime,
by 2
but
racks to nil.
definitely a veteran of our game and showing those results on the World 9-Ball Tour as well. You got to figure a W is coming sometime soon. And again, it seems like the hard break to me is the one that's going to win this title, and it doesn't have to be Kachi's hard break, but something where you're really getting into the balls. I'll tell you, in a race of 7, if you can win games battling and then put a break and run together, maybe a couple, that's huge. It's the same here in this race to 9. Put a lot of pressure on your opponent. And we'll see how they're feeling on this tough 2-ball.
Hindi, yung tira, preparasyon. Ha? Preparasyon mahirap. Pag tinampal ko pa isla dito.
I think more than anything, it's about the position. They're trying to figure out how can we stay attacking and get position on this red 3.
Hindi naman, i-slide naman yun. So, hindi mo makakarambola yung 5. Basta walang pektos, ha. Pag ginano mo yan dito, gaganon mo. Kahit tamaan mo to. Okay, sige. Extension.
The extension, please.
Looks like taking on a steep 2-ball in the right middle by the green 6, and that's all about position, I think, Phil. He can level out, hit this with a little left English, get to the side rail, let the cue ball kill, and come up for the 3 in the same middle pocket.
Now the blue 2 went in off the far jaw there. Had he caught that a little thinner, he might have been even better on the 3, but it's perfectly acceptable anyway.
Yeah, and that's a settled team right there. Really not taking the easier shot in the side, not understanding they had to run into the pink. They chose that pocket, taking a little tougher pot on the corner, but more natural position on the pink.
And while it's lunchtime in Lugo, it's prime time in the Philippines. A big audience will be watching this, and if you're out there cheering on your boys, they're doing very well so far.
Yeah, again, communication there when needed or when asked for, but not really just, kind of stressing and going over every shot. They'll maybe talk about the 7 a little bit here, but they know they have no extension. Probably asking them to draw the cue ball a bit here. Maybe like some 3 feet, 2 feet. Really cinched it, so it's going to have to work the rock a little bit off a very heavy hit on the brown 7. Cheat the pocket a little bit. He could stun this a couple rails coming to the center, or he could follow 1 rail out. And all these little things make a huge difference in doubles, especially between the ears. If you don't stress, like Johann kind of just walked away right there, letting his man know this is no problem.
He was right.
about the mistakes as a premium in the race of 7. I think even more so because you're facing the better teams, right? The ones that are really playing the best.
Ringing mobile phone on the 9. Not good timing. But it mattered not. Ever since that speculative cross-table tumble from the Chinese Taipei.
Got to travel the cue ball some ways.
He's looking $1 million, Chua. They both are.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, even though we haven't seen a ton of them, they've been, obviously, they play pool every day there in the Philippines and train and compete with each other. And a little thick there, but he knew with the next to the rail, he could afford a little bit as long as the speed's right.
The Philippines are putting the O in co.
The Philippines are winning the race.
4-0 it is. And it's not just the scoreline, it's the manner in which it's being achieved. The definition of impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Take your seats, please. The 5th rack. Team Philippines to break, leading by 4 racks to 0.
Little warm in there, so Chinese Taipei using a couple of towels. Not about to throw one in yet.
Yeah, definitely not. And Philippines putting the heat on. Okay, maybe our first kind of long shot at the 2. We'll see. And as Johann Chua is speculating what they have and what kind of look they have at the blue 2.
Kita. Oh, kita, di ba? Yeah.
Well, if he can roll his ball here and play the 2 to the bottom rail and then up by the 5 and let the cue ball just continue by the 9, I think that's the shot. So you have to run the cue ball here. This is dangerous. Really nice. And this is what you do with a lead. You keep it simple as you can. Even if they gave him a look, it wasn't going to be easy. But so far, pretty perfect for Team Philippines.
Almost maximum distance between cue ball and object ball. And a full ball hook.
Yeah, well, anytime you play those types of shots, you're not 100% you're going to get the hook.
The extension,
so
please.
you just always play cue ball to the rail speed. That's the one you're really trying to target. And right on there for Aranas. A nice hit. They did give up the left side of the 2 for sure, so you got to believe the cue ball's going to be up near the green 6, maybe.
No. Just ask.
Maybe the pink 4, one rail up in the corner, or excuse me, the purple 5. Pretty natural here. Big zone to get a really good snooker. That may hit the gap. No, it isn't. When I tell you, being jacked up, only being able to hit the top part of the ball. If they kick at this, obviously to the top rail, the side rail, you have to kind of hit it slowly. It's not the most comfortable way to shoot at what is kind of a bare ball on the bottom rail.
And where the balls are, if they fail to make contact, ouch. Oh, well done. Although.
No rail after contact. Ball in hand.
No rail after contact, so ball in hand anyway. And they'd left the two
And please
regardless.
start the clock.
Yeah, and pretty wise to kick at it slowly. That way you keep accuracy. You just kind of had to hope something really fortunate went on the bottom end of the table, and it wasn't to be. So this lead should get extended. A little shy there, but shouldn't be a problem.
When you're playing a match against quality opposition, world-class opposition, this is the kind of start you dream about.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for much better, and especially because everything's been really clean so far. Maybe these last two shots on a couple of simple ones have fallen a little short, but
Magsama ko.
shouldn't be a problem.
Yan ang babalikin.
And again, I think the Coe brothers could do the same thing. Just because, again, that race to 9, they're deep in the tournament, they're feeling good. I always feel like we're going to see better pull in these situations. Doesn't always work out. A really perfect angle, because you'll notice the brown 7 does not pass the 9, so they needed something to come up to the left side of the table.
Gitna na lang. Hindi, pure. Oh,
Last
pure.
couple shots, excluding the 5 ball, just kind of felt like Team Philippines. Maybe a couple strokes, thinking, oh, let's not make a big mistake. You know, the first 4 racks were really, the stroke was very kind of freed up very well, and just looked very good. That's a much more confident stroke there. Chua, just like his teammate, really have all the shots, so he can work the cue ball forward 3
The
rails.
extension, please.
I'd probably zigzag this across myself, 2 rails, kind of cheat the pocket, power up a little bit. Now he's going to go with a high ball.
Team Philippines wins the rack.
This passage of play has been some of the most dominant we've seen in the entire tournament, if not the most dominant. And it's every department. Shape, potting, and in that rack, it was all about 1-1.
6. Team Philippines to break, leading by 5-0.
Yeah, well, Ko Ping Yi broke the balls in our first game. Ko Ping Chung played a beautiful kick shot on the 2, and I don't think Ko Ping Chung has been back to the table since. Ko Ping Yi went for a cross-side bank, missed it. They sat for a few racks. Ko Ping Yi took on that tough kick shot, and that's been about it. Yeah, the story so far for Ko Ping Yi is, yeah, I came to Spain and I played really
Please make
well
sure the phones are on silent.
until I didn't get to play very much.
And that's the ultimate cruelty of pool. Sometimes you're powerless.
Yeah, and these players know it, and that's why, you know, it's cruel at times, but we can also see some really special moments and
And please start the clock.
performances that you just will never forget. And the great thing about it now, though, is there's so many tournaments on the schedule, Phil, that if it doesn't work out for you this week, you don't have to wait so long to play another great one. Now, is this bank, or is he coming 2 rails off the bottom for a safety behind the 8? The speed. Okay. He's upset there because he had a big group of balls, the 8, 3, and 9, to really protect that blue 2, and it just got away a little bit.
It did, and it was instinctive. Almost as soon as he hit the cue ball, he knew.
Yeah, absolutely. And Funny how sports is like that. Now, it was a bank last time that Koping went for. He's going to not take this one on. Wonder how much of the jump he left here, not getting the 2 all the way to the rail, using the 8 to cover it up a bit more. Kick shot's not terrible either with all this congestion. If he can kick 2 rails hitting a little bit before that left middle coming off the top cushion, you have a lot of action at getting safe, maybe even pocketing the 2 ball. And I think if he could hit a little more the left side of the 2 here, he would jump at this, kind of bang the 2 up table, bring the cue ball down to the bottom. This should be a little bit like a firm medium, you would say. Keep your accuracy. And you see how the cue ball continues to track. That's why you kick towards congestion and with the high ball. Now, nothing easy for the Ko brothers, which has been the theme in this match.
Extension called.
For only 1 shot in the match so far, and it's been all the way back in game number 1, you got to feel like that was a pretty good hit from Koping Chung, trying to come back down and use the 3 and 9. Looks like maybe has left Johann a jumpable ball here. This is the type you can make.
Now then, is there a window of opportunity? Oh dear me. When you're 5-0 down and your table time has been severely restricted, it's imperative to make the most of your initial chance. That underlining just how tight these middles are.
Yeah, and I'm sure the players have noticed, I've noticed that they've gotten a little tougher as the week has gone on. That's all 6 of the pockets on this beautiful table, and that's pretty standard. The felt gets a little broken in and a little more wear. Does he have to move the ball here, or can he just hold it?
Sagad ko na, no? Oh, sagad na. Pas kontrolin mo siya. Hindi mo kailangan sagad. Kontrolin mo yung pag-isla.
He's telling him to pull the ball 2 rails inside the 8 and 9. Really pretty standard shot. This is all about if you hit the pocket right. If you hit a little thick, hit a little thin, things could be, get out of line with the cue ball a bit, but pretty perfect there.
hampered queuing here on the 7, perhaps. No, he's okay. Just about gets in. As does the 7.
Yeah, really relaxed motion there, and James is looking better and better. Johann's looked really good the entire event. And he's only going to get better knowing his partners, getting more relaxed. Of course, the 5-0 lead doesn't hurt.
It's the new version of JJ, Johann and James, doing what the old version used to do. Trounce opponents.
The team of the Philippines went
6 of the best from the Philippines, 2/3 of the way to the semi-finals of the World Cup of Pool. They are unseeded. What a joke that is.
Break and continually make the one in the side. I know it's kind of sets up, for that kind of kiss shot off the rack, but still to do it with so much speed. So they got options here with a difficult kind of 5-6 situation up the table, but a good look at the blue 2. Depending on how they fall on the red 3, they may try to open the 5-6 here in the next shot. To kind of kill the ball and also bring it backwards a little bit. And you may have overcooked this a little as far as getting at the breakout. Now the good thing is the 4's in the center of the table, the pink 4. So as long as you get on this side of it, you got to believe they're going to be able to figure out a way to either play some type of short side position on the purple 5 or open that 5-6. Okay, he played from behind, so must be confident in getting that short side position. And that angles actually doesn't really offer the line on the cue ball to get behind that purple, so may see a heavy draw stroke here, trying to come one rail into the green 6. A little bit of a gamble here. Yeah, and James kind of said, "Are you sure?" I think, and Johann reassured him we're okay. Now, difficult. Trying to get past that point with the low right spin. I wonder if Johann can come across this purple and actually use the 6 a little bit and run the cue ball up behind the 8, putting the purple on the back rail. Like that. That's the shot I would have looked for. Looked like it laid pretty natural.
Well spied. Well called, Jeremy. Can see some of the 5, but the onus again on Chinese Taipei to try and force something from the Filipinos.
Extension called.
Right now, the team in front are looking watertight.
Yeah, well, when you first start playing any type of sporting game, it does not matter which one. When you have a big lead, your first mentality is, oh, I can afford to go for something, but then you start to realize as you get better and more experienced, that's when you actually batten down the hatches a little bit at times and understand that it's your opponent down 6-0 that really has to push the envelope and maybe attack at a moment that they normally wouldn't.
1966 US Open golf, Arnold Palmer led by 7 with 9 to play at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Went for the US Open scoring record, continued to attack, got caught and passed by Billy Casper.
Yeah, and that's one of the most famous situations, and of course the king, one of the most famous ever in the sporting world. And I think it's happened to all of us, though, at some point or another.
Missing balls is a rarity for the Philippines, but they miss one there.
Yeah, didn't want to really add side spin to the ball much, just use kind of a high ball, which I don't blame him from distance. Oh, that's got to feel good for Chung. I think his first ball pocketed of the match.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Chinese Taipei have got the ability to come back into this match wholesale. They could do to the Philippines what the Philippines have done to them.
Absolutely, and you know, Ko Pin-Yi, I think a little better breaker of the balls. It's going to take something special, but the good thing mentally is they haven't given games away. You know, when you give games away, it seems like, you know, there's going to be a point in time that's going to be very difficult. But really, these two have done it all and have been in every situation in 9-ball pools. So you got to believe that they believe, and that's what matters the most. Even there, very confident stroke coming inside the side pocket and the black 8, 2 cushions. So not backing off, even though trailing 6 games. Probably going to get a big cheer after this 9 goes down.
Chinese Taipei win 2-1.
Whitewash averted. A rare ball was missed by the Philippines, and Chinese Taipei on this occasion were able to fully exploit. Those two know this match is far from over.
Flank of the 8th rack. Team Chinese Taipei to break, trailing by 6 racks to 1.
Chung with a very nice break off. Not quite the power of the Philippines, but he's picked it up as well. I think the brothers recognize that that break seems to be the one. Do have a good look at the blue 2 and maybe a little bit of a cuttable blue 2, but looks like the cue ball will have a ton of speed and definitely missable. Looks like the safety is coming.
When you've got a lot of balls to hide behind, you need to be accurate even then. The first order of business was to take the left-hand longer rail away. And they did that, so short rail first.
Definitely the jump cue coming. A good hit there, trying to create a little luck. Ko brothers both being righties should be able to reach this no problem. And it sits with a nice angle to kind of get the cue ball moving up towards the center. Got to hit it well though. have deserved more out of that.
Lots of applause, and then it sort of died away when the cue ball stopped behind the 7. Or should I say behind the 9.
The extension, please.
Probably wants a full hit here on the red 3. Just take his chances. Send the cue ball to the top rail. Uh-oh. Ooh. Talk about the tighter pockets, and they sometimes help Whitey. It certainly helped the Coe brothers in that position there.
On such tiny margins do big racks hang.
Yeah, I thought that was always going to be difficult just because, you know, the 3 was a little right of the cue ball, so it took a very, very thin hit to get that line they wanted. Don't blame them there, but tough execution, especially some 8 or 9 feet away. Got to power up here. Boy, it really creates a lot of easy power.
That's 3 or 4 thunderous shots from Chua.
Yeah, very effortless power as well, and that's one thing we've seen from many teams this week. When power was needed, many balls have been missed. Not the case for Johann Chua. Like the draw stroke here. Could follow 2 rails, I guess, but might spread on you a little bit. You can really draw the ball easily. He's going to go with a high ball.
Extension called.
Just a little preference. Coming 2 rails to the center.
These two are following in the footsteps of Filipino giants. And this is a pretty giant performance.
Team Philippines wins it out.
The Chinese Taipei revival was mini. 7-1. 2 more racks needed to go through.
Thank you, 89th rack. Team Philippines to break, leading by 7 racks to 1.
I was going to say a rare missed 1 ball. Still hit the jaws, but then got kissed in.
Aranas apologised for that. I think it would have been even more worthy of an apology had the 6 ball cleared out and allowed a clear path for the 2.
Yeah, they can get at the blue too, though. So very creative players, some of the most creative on the planet, the Filipinos. I was going to say, and that's exactly what I was thinking. At first thought, he may 3-rail this ball in the lower left-hand corner, kind of shove the cue ball forward, not only for position, but a backdoor safety. Like that. Trying to make this. Wanted the cue ball a little more forward and anticipated hitting it a little shorter if he did miss it. Definitely going for it, though. Okay, can he get by the pink with the cue ball? Even if he catches a piece of the pink, it should be okay, but watch out for the left middle side pocket. That's the one I would worry about. This is going to be all right. Got to make a nice shot on the red 3, but they're certainly happy to have it.
Yes, and with the 4 going down, 1 fewer ball to worry about.
Yeah, and anytime you're thin, the cue ball control, of course, making the ball's tough, but cue ball control is tougher. And now with a little more open purple. Might come right at the purple here. Kind of like the upper right here myself, as long as he can level out and avoid the scratch. If not, he'll take on the upper left. Yeah, and he's overcut it. The only reason I like the upper right is because at that angle you can't afford to slide it in a little bit, and I think that it was just on a scratch angle. That's why he took on the upper left.
I think with these 2, they're genuinely smiling. It's not forced. They've got such a sunny disposition.
Well, and I think they're just true competitors and the best kind that just understand how sports is. That sometimes, players put a performance on you you just can't overcome, no matter how great you are, and they appreciate what they're seeing.
Well, that helps.
Yeah, and this 5 ball's near the cushion, but he's a bit behind it, so it kind of makes you feel like the bank is on.
Chinese Taipei wins the rack.
Maybe the fluke out of the hook will bring just a ray of hope. The Philippines still in command, of course, but now Chinese Taipei have another rack on the board. It's 7-2. Rack in rather fortunate circumstances. Nevertheless, they've still got a mountainous task. 5 adrift.
Yeah, caught the rack way thin. He's going to be disappointed there, knowing that one was on him a bit. Watch how low the cue ball dives right there below that middle diamond. And a few different ways to make it, but there's also a few different ways to miss it. Didn't miss by much, though.
Yes, and because it was close to the side, the one stayed in its general vicinity. And look at this table.
Yeah, nice knowing the 7's hanging really similar to an early rack. You don't have to get that great a position on the blue, too. Now here, they have a nice little angle on the blue, too, as well. So you figure after making the brown 7 should be easy to contain position. Just kind of got to ease it in. Make sure you don't make them both, which is very hard to do the way the 7's laying. He put more speed on that than I expected. That ball could have fallen. And the way the slick table is, can he play a rail first here? Can he just simply draw up the left side of the table? Needs a little past the side pocket. He's playing the rail first. This can be tricky. Oh no, he played ball first. Nice shot. Thought the 2 was laying a little deeper in the pocket.
And if the next shot works out, the Philippines will almost certainly be on the hill.
Yeah, just a little left check here. And the key to this is don't overhit it. Make sure the spin kind of does its job. That way you avoid the black 8. Really a shot that James usually excels at. Super nice touch.
I thought they played nicely in their 2 previous matches, but this is taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And setting them up to play even better. And given the opportunity, I think we'd see the same from the Ko brothers. It just hasn't been there yet. And couldn't say it's really been fortunate. It's just been actually unfortunate what the Filipinos have done to them so far. Now, interesting here, Johann kind of looked at the side pocket for the black 8 earlier in the rack, and he's going to stick to that. About where the cue ball's at now would be ideal.
Hello?
Little on the wrong side. Kind of rolled out a little bit there, so maybe a little top inside coming across the table.
Kung feel mo, ikaw ang titira eh. Basta feel mo yan, ikaw ang bahala.
That's why side pockets are funny, Phil. It doesn't take much to make them awkward.
And just a tiny grain of doubt about this 9-ball. Over the course of our 2-week stay here, we've seen some howlers. But that was right into the centre of the pocket. The Philippines are on the hill. They lead Chinese Taipei by 8 racks to 2. So one more needed to take on either GB or Austria in the semi-finals tomorrow. And next, have some of that. What a pity the 8-ball has been rather rude.
Bit of a wry smile there from Johann Chua, and you know they don't want to let off the gas, right? But do they take a little flyer here on the kick shot, sending the 2 towards the 9?
Push out.
Push out called.
They think better of that, and that's mad respect, of course, for the Code brothers, no matter what the score line. Very dangerous. Pushing out below the pink to the kick shot. It's got to slow down a little bit.
Team Chinese Taipei, it's your choice, please.
Kind of feel like they're supposed to pass, but it's not the worst kick shot in the world, but there's a lot of openings up the table. So you kind of feel like even if you get the blue 2 up the table, you know, it doesn't have to be a snooker kind of situation. Cue ball could come towards the 9 a little bit here.
Well, the potting angle on the 2 isn't available, but a piece of the 2 is, as the 9 goes close.
Extension.
Extension, please.
Babihin ko na to. Babihin ko na. Sige, ako bahala rito.
Now, you kind of laid the cue down there. Is he trying to run off the right side of the 2 ball here? Instead of just trying to pocket it, I kind of felt like they would just try to make it. Oh, he's not jumping it. He's trying to play the 3-cushion billiard into the 9. That was a little, you know, what would the greatest player from the Philippines and arguably the greatest ever, what would he do there, Efren Reyes?
That would have been a grandstand finish.
Yeah, still not leaving much here. Probably just using the 8 and the 5 as a snooker. It's amazing how often they end up just a hair short on that exact shot. Very hard to gauge it coming out to the middle of the table. Tell you what, if he kicks this how he wants between the 3 and 4, you may get a little nip on the 9 here to end the match. He got in behind it. A little deep. Still nothing easy.
Extension, please.
要放手吗？这个应该要放手了，还是就一样把它打穿过去就好了，然后固子球就好了，会比较简单一点。
Gonna say a pocketable 2 ball, but very difficult to move the cue ball with any speed, so maybe a long distance combination on the 3-9 coming, but I thought they may just hit the 2 a little before the side, just let it roam past the pink. Yeah, something like that. Now the kick shot on the right or left side, their right side of the blue too. Saw a similar kind of shot in the Moscone Cup from SVB. It laid a little different. Same principle though. Come off their right side of the 2 and let's make the 9 to end the match. He caught it full, and how's the speed going to be? Definitely a tester.
It is, but the 2 pokes out. You can see it is very much a case of being able to knock that in for Ko Ping Chung.
Yeah, I think he's just got to hold the ball there, and whether Ko Ping plays a cross corner bank on the 3, a kiss shot on the 9, probably not the combination on the 9. Now this is, you know, sitting on the fence a little bit. The cross corner bank isn't bad because the pink is right there. The combination to me is very, very difficult. Of course, the kiss shot equally difficult. Playing the carom.
Quite conceivably, Chinese Taipei have played their last shot in the tournament.
Yeah, and the shot clock got the best of them there. You want to play that where the 3 bounces out in space a little bit, where you don't have that corner pocket available just in case you miss the kiss shot. This is delicate, though.
Yeah, always wide, and Aranas moved on that.
Yeah, they usually move when they don't like it. They know right away when it's struck. So a little draw stroke here.
They'll just keep grinding away. Strange things happen in 9-ball. You never know. We've seen some remarkable comebacks over the years. This would be right up there, but you've got to be in it to win it. Chinese
By 8 racks to 3.
Our camera looking down on the table. The Philippines looking down on Chinese Taipei. 8-3 the score.
So they're all big for Chinese Taipei team here and the Ko brothers, and they do have a look at the blue too. Nothing easy though. He's got to kind of elevate the cue a little bit to stop the cue ball in a very tight corner pocket in the upper left. Very good there from Ko Ping. Tricky little shot here. I don't think the cueing's really a problem, but does have to dig on the ball, I believe, a little bit. Can't roll it and go by the 7. The pink's a little covered up by the purple, so easy to hit this a hair thick. Real clean. Tell you what the mentality is here and why we're seeing the Coe brothers still really execute nicely is they just haven't made a lot of mistakes to really be down 8-3. So you can see, though, in perfect position, but still a lot of work. A difficult 9 ball, you can see near the side, one of the most awkward positions there is. That one kind of jumped a little bit off the rail, it seems, so maybe a hair thinner than totally desired, but should be okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Man, you'll see that when the ball kind of feel like it bounced a little bit. You'll see the cue ball get clean in those positions quite often. Maybe a little buildup of moisture. So they played perfect position and some really nice shots through this rack. Should come one row across, just a little soft bounce maybe off the second cushion.
Chinese Taipei wins 2-1.
Admirable fighting spirit. It was 6-0 and 7-1 to the Filipinos, but Chinese Taipei aren't going to the airport just yet. It could still be match on. 8-4 the scoreline. The sun is here,
8 racks to
rolling
4.
hills. We're in the northwest of Spain, not too far from the Portuguese border, actually. Chinese Taipei, not too far from defeat.
A little more of what we're used to seeing from Copigny on that break. 1 ball down. Cue ball got a little bit of a kiss up the table. So probably not offensive here on the blue 2. Should be able to bank the 2 and go to the side rail like they're pointing underneath the purple 5 and the black 8. Now you could cut the 2 underneath those balls and run the cue ball also. So options. Probably plays the cue ball though.
Chinese Taipei have been remarkably consistent with various players over the years in this tournament. It's such an unforgiving format. And so for them to reach the semi-finals in 4 consecutive years from 2010 onwards, I think it just emphasises the pool of talent they have.
Yeah, and the pool of talent they have when the pressure's on as well. It's one thing, we have a lot of great nations, but who's really taking the titles down when it means the most? And Chinese Taipei definitely in that short list. Nice hit there. The 2's going to get reasonably tough. Yeah, nice one there. Thin. And another thin one here for his brother.
进攻员放手，
Always kind of smiling. You got to love it.
这打进是不是在这里的力量很难，不太好控？对，
打进感觉是要这样子比较好控。Extension，
Extension called.
但这样子4号做5号是不好做。
在这边也不会难做。
They go offensive here. Very important
在
shot.
这边也可以。
就这样跑4个行这样。好。
Obviously can't afford any misses, but getting proper on the pink 4 to get proper on the purple 5. You see the 6 up the table, so if they get a little funny here, it's going to be difficult to clear the rack. Can't afford a miss. Nice angle here. It is doable to get in that great position on the purple, which is needed, but got to make a nice shot here and kind of track the cue ball 2 rails somewhat into the position it's in now. That would be okay.
Starting to play the Ko brothers. Is it just a little too late? All they can do is keep grinding away.
Yeah, it's still a lot to do with this rack. Looking to play the angle on the green 6. I decided to go a little straight, which I think was okay. Just got to make a nice draw stroke. I think if you played the angle here on the 6, the 9 ball becomes really a big blocker trying to work the cue ball. So I kind of like this myself.
The Philippines have been on the hill for quite some time and they look like remaining there.
Chinese Taipei wins the rack.
At their lowest ebb, Chinese Taipei were 8-2 down. Now it's 8-5. 4 more racks needed. Eminently possible, Jeremy. The commentator lifted the trophy.
Thank you, the 14th rack. Team Chinese Taipei to break, trailing by 8 racks to 5.
Yeah, like y'all consider the Open Championship in golf, right? Like the biggest event. I think, of course, that's where golf came from. I still hold the U.S. Open in the highest regard. So many players trying to add that title to their resume and join an incredible list of champions throughout what is going on 50 years almost. Nice shot here. They can cue the ball nicely. We'll see. Probably swings it a couple rails around the 7. Can't quite tell the angle for sure, but it's a little more comfortable way to shoot it than a high inside spin, especially shooting into a side pocket.
And you remember how this revival began when James Aranas missed quite a tough 3 ball down the left-hand long rail. They might be getting a little hot around the collar, the Filipinos. It was all but one.
Well, no doubt, and if you remember how Ko Ping-yi kind of left the table on that attempted kiss shot on the 9 to stay in the match, it seemed. You know, very distraught. looked like the wind was kind of knocked out of these guys, and I tell you, they've been woken up severely.
Both header balls just went off.
Yeah, real natural through this rack. Every shot seems to be perfectly on point. Now just a little high ball coming one rail down for the 8.
Thanks.
Watching comebacks in pool is always intriguing, entertaining. But I always feel a little sorry for the guys who've been in front, because there's no worse feeling than when you see a massive lead eroded.
Team Chinese Taipei wins the rack.
8-6, what a start to the quarterfinals of the World Cup of Pool. And of course, with the winner breaks format, the correct format to mount a fight back than to
Team
try and
Chinese
stave
Taipei
one
to
off.
break, trailing by 8 racks to 6.
Yeah, especially just sitting in the chair, just having to wait your turn, and you wonder if that turn will come. The more racks they put together, the better they break the balls. Don't know if we're going to see him stay offensive here. We'll see. With a minute after the break, they'll certainly discuss a few things, and it just looks a bit thin both ways to the corner pocket and to the right middle.
防守不拼都可以拼这样子，感觉好像可以拼，对，防守也没有在多好的嘛，对啊，但拼也很难拼，对啊，就好专心固定就好了，好。推杆闪得过5号吗？推杆下一点右塞就可以了，好。
Well, they like it. It's thin to the middle, but you can see a clear table if he gets past the purple 5, coming some 3 rails around to the right side of the table. Oh, they're feeling pretty well. Watch out for the side. Watch out for the side.
I'm so pleased that didn't go in. That would have been the height of cruelty. The Filipinos don't share that opinion, mind you.
Well, we've talked about it all week. Who's willing to try and attack in tough situations instead of going for the safety? And I think these Ko brothers are feeling good about it, but I think a very good decision there as well. Only takes one good jump shot, one good kick shot to beat a good safety, and trailing 8-6 and keeping the heat on the Filipinos. Should just kind of drag the cue ball down with a little left side. Just kind of slowly let it open up. Uh-oh. Just got to slow down a little bit. Looks like the 6-7 combo is pretty playable. He's going to run the cue ball 3 rails, maybe 2 rails, but between the 8 and 9. may not catch the third rail, may kind of kill it with a little spin coming 2 rails between the black 8 and the yellow 9.
The extension, please.
Avoidance. Avoidance of defeat.
Chinese Taipei on 2
You know, when the Philippines led 6-0, 7-1, 8-2, we kept saying Chinese Taipei not quite out of this yet. They're capable of great things, and that's what they're producing right now.
Yeah, well, everybody in the building, including
Rack
us, I
16.
believe, wants Hill now
Chinese
with
Taipei
this
to break.
comeback, besides the
trailing
Filipino
by
players.
8 racks to 7.
Oh, the one caught short and just didn't sound the best, the opening on the rack, and not sure if the green 6 has helped him out or not. The one proximity is just inches from the pocket. Didn't really see anything wrong with the hit on the 1. The stroke looked good, and again, just didn't sound the best. Oh, can definitely get at this, and doesn't have to do a whole lot, and it's kind of natural. It's got to swerve it a little bit, so the hit on the 1 will tell us about the cue ball movement. Oh my, went early,
Illegal
so
contact. Ball
the
in
first chink in the armor from Johann Chua wasn't easy, but you got to believe the scoreline had a little something to do with it.
That was badly misjudged. As Jeremy said, entirely understandable. From a walk in the park, it's become the height of nerves.
Yeah, and really a very open table. Definitely some work. Got to maintain, that's for sure. Tight pockets here, and of course the 8 ball's in a little funny position up the table, so getting back on the 9, not real difficult, but definitely missable. That's still several shots away. So. Set the hold, and it did. So it doesn't have to take on too thin of a pink 4 in just a moment. Should be natural to get on the purple 5.
By the way, this is the perfect advert. It's why winner breaks is the way forward. You never know. Comebacks like this, eminently more possible with winner breaks than alternate break.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see some special things, and the thing about it is with the tight pockets and of course the tough break rule. You know, if you put 5 or 6 racks together, you've earned it, and it will be remembered. And you know, it's unfortunate for the opponent at times, but that's just part of it.
We've seen 6 break and runouts in this match. The Philippines had 3 early. Chinese Taipei have had 3 late.
Okay, this is really the key shot to get on the green 6 properly, to get easily onto the 7, to make sure the 8 ends up not so difficult. So no problem pocketing the 5, but all about the cue ball. Caught it a little thick. You can see the adrenaline's going. Does he draw this field? When they chalk up like that, normally that's a draw stroke. Wants to get past the side and, of course, past the 9. Oh, that's perfect.
It was very good camera work also to see how low he was hitting that cue ball. Drew it back comfortably in the end. Yeah, it's time for deep breaths, even for someone who's won so much like Ko Pin-Yi.
Really nice there. It's like ball in hand position. Doesn't have to come across the table. Leave a very routine 9 ball. Just don't take your eye off this 8 ball at all, which they won't. I'll tell you, they got the better of the 2 breakers. If they do get out here in the 8-8 position, Ko Pin-Yi to break on the heel. Gotta believe the crowd is gonna let them hear it.
Chinese Taipei is in full.
Oh, brother. What a match. What a comeback. Ko and Ko are now just 1 rack away from producing one of the all-time great fightbacks in the 17-year history. It didn't seem all that consequential.
Chinese Taipei to break.
It most certainly is now.
One's down. Cue ball got kissed up the table. It's going to open up for a difficult shot on the 2, but they've taken them all on. Got to believe they're going to attack here as well. A little bit of awkward cueing. Remember a very difficult 2 ball on the side that Ko Ping-Chung took on about midway through this comeback that really sparked them, and gotta think they're gonna attack here. A little different with the cue ball though. He's gonna want to come 1, 2, 3 rails to the middle of the top cushion and just bring the cue ball towards the red 3. And this is all about speed, right? Somewhere around medium. He's overcut it. He's overcut it, so the Filipinos will get to the table. Nothing easy, but the fans clapping for the appreciation, not only at the attempt, I think, but the run they put on here to get it back 8-8.
Extension, please.
Now, if they're going to attack, you got to believe it's Johann that's going to do the shooting. The incoming team has the choice on which player they put in first. And watch out for the cue ball here. It's going to collide probably with the pink 4. Really nice. And how calm a stroke was that under the most pressure yet.
If you reach a World Cup semi-final,
Mapapadiretso mo.
your prevailing emotion should be pride and joy. For these 2, it would be
Stop. Ano mo na?
sheer relief.
Diretso mo. Kahit lumampas.
We talked about it prior that this could have been our final easily with these two teams as great as they are. It got a little off angle here. May have to go forward with the cue ball. May draw by in between the 7-9, which I kind of like. The slick table when the pressure's on, I really prefer the draw stroke if there's a choice. Little body language, which is definitely a part of Filipino pool. If you ever got to watch Efren Reyes, some of the most fun body language you'll ever watch.
Malamyang pektos lang. Pektos mo konti. Huwag ka matakot, basta try mo ko siyang korida normal.
Is that comeback going to be all to no avail?
Okay, trying to make a simple decision. Do I follow or do I just hold there for the 7 in the corner? Now here, when the nerves are on, you just want to kind of slide over and let Johann take a bit more of a shot on the 9. You really don't want to be rolling your ball.
It's all about the 9, getting to 9. Savouring the moment.
Team Philippines wins outright and one match.
Well done to Chinese Taipei for making that a match to remember. But congratulations to the Philippines. Eventually, they got over the line and into the semi-finals of the World Cup of Pool. That wasn't just one of the matches of the tournament, that was one of the matches of the entire year. And showing great heart, after Koping Chung overcut the 2-ball, the Philippines held their nerve under hefty pressure to get the verdict.